What's up, everybody? SD here. Today, we are going to be talking about how to get more book reviews. This is an age-old question that many an author has asked over the, millennia. Because let's face it, while they may not have had Amazon, Goodreads, Bookbub, Barnes & Noble, or any of the other plethora of places you can leave book reviews, you still needed word of mouth to be able to sell your stuff. So, today we're going to be talking about what tools can we use, both free and paid, that can help you target people who will leave book reviews for you. Now, in some aspects of this, there is anybody, Joe Blow off the street, you offer a free book to, and not as likely to get a book review, right? Because we've all tried that. Then there is the book reviewer, who this is what they do for fun. In, I would say, the majority of the instances, they're just doing this as a fun side hobby. And we're going to talk about some of the expectations that you can have. So the two tools that we use are going to be looking at are Book Sirens and Bookfunnels. Okay. And I use both of these, and to varying degrees, because it depends heavily on what my goals are. We're going to be talking about the pricing structure for each, because while Book Sirens is free to use, they do have a promotion service. I'll go into why I don't necessarily recommend one of those services, and then Bookfunnel, going into why I would recommend potentially paying for that, depending on what your goals are and how you can kind of reach people. So now, one kind of quick note to make is that Amazon does not like paid reviews, period. So in some of these instances, if you are paying people directly, and you'll get these people on Instagram and social media all the freaking time, where they're like, well, for $27, we'll give you blah, 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 and X amount of reviews. That's called cheating. And Amazon does not like that at all. So I do not recommend that you do that. The paid service for Book Sirens is you are paying Book Sirens to find people who might like your book and might leave you a review, which is different. Now, we're going to kind of get into the logistics of that, but I did want to make mention of, if someone offers to give you a whole bunch of reviews in exchange for payment, that is bad. Do not do that. Period. Okay? All right. So now that we got some of the doom and gloom out of the way, let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive into Book Sirens. Let's go. We are on booksirens.com. And as you can see, find book review blogs, vlogs, and bookstagrams to promote your book. That is what we are talking about today. You can see that I already have an account on here and I have used it. Not as much as of recent, but it is something that I found to be incredibly valuable. So the reason you want to look into Book Sirens is because you're going to be reaching out to people who are doing book review blogs. Okay, so if you are doing your due diligence, reaching out to them, making sure that, you're addressing them by their first name, perusing their blog to make sure that, like, hey, is my book even a good fit for it? This is going to require a little bit of research on your part, which is why I mentioned earlier purposeful and intentional outreach for this. All right, so let's just kind of scroll back up here real quick. So you can enter your book's genre right here. So they have some trending ones. So romance, young adult, children, Christian fiction, mystery, fantasy, thriller, and horror. So my book technically falls under young adult, Christian fiction, and fantasy. But let's just say I'm wanting to focus on the fantasy author or book reviewers specifically. Okay. You can see that there are over 1,300 fantasy book reviewers. So now if I scroll down here, you can see the name of the books, or the book blogs, the genre preferences, so fantasy, paranormal, supernatural, science fiction, fantasy, and magic. Accepted requests from, and this is important, indie authors, okay, or small publishers. They do big publishers as well, but for indie authors in particular, since you guys are the ones that we're talking to, you want to make sure that they are accepting requests from indie authors. Now, they will cross-post reviews to Amazon, Goodreads, their own blog, Twitter, and Facebook, which, is absolutely fantastic. Those two, Amazon and Goodreads, are kind of the top two. Everything else is a bonus, okay? They accepted book formats, EPUB, PDF, paperback, hardcover, audiobook, and Mobi. Pay close attention to the accepted book formats. Some people will only accept paperback or hardcover, and that is usually if they're also doing bookstagramming. They're going to want one of those. Sometimes they'll accept the PDF or EPUB or a Mobi file, but you really need to pay close attention to whether it's a physical copy or not, because that means you have to get a physical copy to send to them, okay? Now, book, blog, vlog, Instagram, you can see that that's a clickable link. And last updated was January 14th of 2022. So it was recent. That's good. You need to make sure that the people you're reaching out to are recent. You can see that this one right over here, last updated March 28th, 2021. That's a long time to not have anything. They leave free reviews, and their social reach, total followers across all social media channels, is about 4,640. Honestly, this is not a big deal. It's really not. I would just as much take this as I would this. The reason is because that's 644 people that I don't have access to right now. Now, you can see that this person has no social media reach as of right now, and they only have a Goodreads account linked. So this is where you want to make sure that you are focusing and actually looking into things. Okay, so if we click on review policy, it takes us over here to ReaderFox. So if we scroll down, this is their review policy. You should be checking every single person you are wanting to reach out to make sure that they have a review policy. Because send all review requests to steph@reviews.readerfox@gmail.com. Okay? Please read my full review policy before emailing. This means that you need to pay attention. So happy to consider review requests from authors and publishers. The book will need to be provided in exchange for an honest review. Lists what she accepts. Please include a link to your book's Goodreads page in your request. If you do not include this link, I may not respond to your request. Okay, so this is important. You have to know what these people are wanting in order to reach them and have the best possible chance of doing this. When I did this back in 2020, the end of 2020, beginning of 2021 for my book, The City of Snow and Stars, I reached out to about 10 people, and I think I got 8 or 9 of them because I was very, very intentional in paying attention to what they were asking of me and what I sent them. You can see I primarily read young adult, middle grade, and children's. Due to the large number of review requests I have received lately, I am currently unable to accommodate strict timeframes. Please keep this in mind when requesting. Okay, so this is another thing, is that everybody's like, oh my gosh, you need to read my book like right now. So that's probably not going to happen. There are people who I reached out to a review for at the beginning of 2021 who did not review it until the beginning of 2022 because they had so many people wanting book reviews from them. Here's the thing. If you want more book reviews are a long game. You want to have a consistent and steady flow of reviews on your book, in addition to sales. But the reviews help with sales. So you want to make sure that you are reaching out consistently. Okay, so she accepts young adult, new adult, middle grade, graphic novels, children's, adult, general fiction, biography, memoir, education, humor, preferred genres. You can see that this is primarily all just genre fiction, and will likely decline romance, horror, thriller, sports, crime, religion, spirituality, erotica, and travel. And they also leave the rating scale. So basically how good they think it is, and that's what they will post on their blog. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go back to here. So once you have done that, okay, and you've checked out the review policy, I recommend making sure that they actually have that kind of reach and see when the last time they posted. So let's go to their Instagram real quick. Okay, so we could see that they have 1,500 followers, and we got an Etsy store. They do engraved books, and you can see, so it looks like a lot of reels, which obviously are super popular. Now, so 200, 69, 62, 236, 44. The other thing that you kind of want to do, especially when it's just reels, I personally don't like it when it's just reels. I like the pictures. They tend to have a better engagement rate. So you can see this kind of all over the board on how many likes that it's getting, how many people are actually engaging on the content that this book reviewer is doing. So while you may be like, hey, this is the perfect person, if their engagement rate isn't super high, look and see what is being engaged on the highest and if your book would be a good fit for that. Okay, so now that we're back here, let's address the search filters. So if you're like, hey, you know what? I want to make sure that everything is free. Easy. Click on that. And you can see that the reviewers, the number of reviewers really did not change much, like hardly at all. So you're like, okay, well, I want to make sure that they accept indie authors. Still did not change that much. So you're still over 1,200 people. Okay, I want to make sure that they post on Amazon. Okay, so that made a pretty big difference there. Cut about 400 out. I also would like to make sure that they leave one on Goodreads. Now we're back up because a lot of more people will post on Goodreads. What about Bookbub? Still over 1,200. And I'll kind of touch on Bookbub as well towards the end of this. It's less likely that you are going to get a return on Bookbub. Reaching out to new people in the same way that you would through Book Sirens or Bookfunnels, but I will touch on that later. And if you're like, you know what, I can only afford to send out an EPUB, well, that's good news for you because there's still over 900 people that you would be able to reach out to. Okay, so that is essentially what this giant menagerie of book reviewers is going to be able to do for you. So you're going to want to spend a lot of time researching first. Research before you do outreach. Find all of the people that you would like to send messages out to, and then draft up a message that kind of runs down like, hey, I saw what you post. Think you would love my book. Here are some of the themes. Here's some of the tropes. I'd be more than happy to send you, a sample chapter to see if you even enjoy it. That's what I did. That's actually what got several of my book reviewers who had actually said no initially, is that I sent them my first chapter and they're like, all right, fine. I'll read it because I have to know what happens. So sometimes if you are willing to send them just that first chapter for them to get that little bit of a taste, that can be enough. But don't send it with the expectation in the first message. You want to draft up a message, invite them to it. If they say no, be like, hey, can I send you the first chapter to see if you would even like it? You can make that invitation on the first one. Now, let's talk about the pricing structure. So let's hop over to there. All right, pricing plans. So there's two options they give you. I want to promote an ARC publicly and I want to run an ARC privately. So ARC would, be your advanced reader copy. In this case, we are going to assume that you already have a book out and you are looking for reviews. Okay, so we're not necessarily looking at this as like an advanced promotion. This is your book already being out. You can still use this. So you can promote, and then there's author. So you can promote just one advanced reader copy. So it's $10 per copy plus $2 per reader. You can reach influential reviewers. And again, this is it's pulling a lot from the directory that we were looking at. Delight your readers, grow your ARC team, grow your mailing list, optimize for reviews, piracy protection, stay in control, unlimited readers. Now, that little asterisk is only applies to readers we find for you. You can invite readers for free. You can set a reader limit and it will stop at any time. You are not paying readers for reviews. Again, you are paying basically Book Sirens to find people who might be interested in your book and who might leave a review. Now, I've done this one, and it's actually where I ended up getting some of my first 2-star reviews. And here is why I think that happened, is that they are sending it to people ad hoc, randomly, to see, because these people have signed up to be reviewers. So rather than being very methodical, very purposeful, very intentional on who I was reaching out to, I am entrusting my book with other people, and they're showing it to everyone and their mother's cousins, and not all those people like the book. There was someone, they had left a review and they're like, I didn't get it. So it was one of those things where my $10 was not worth the amount of time it took to find those readers, or the return on that investment by getting a couple 2-star reviews because the person didn't get it, which means that they likely don't read Christian fiction in general. They may not even read fantasy. It was recommended to them by Book Sirens, so why not give it a chance? That can be a problem when you are, and this is a shortcut essentially. It bypasses you being purposeful, researching, and all that kind of stuff. And I get it; it takes a lot of time. I don't believe that paying for it is worth it. Now, the author one, I have not done yet. I might give it a shot at some point in the future because I'm curious. It's $100 for the year, and essentially it's paid. It breaks it down as what it costs monthly, if you pay for the full year, but you have to apply. You do not just get access to it And neither of these do you just get access to it. This one has to be approved. This one over here. And this one also has to be approved. You have to apply to join. But if you do, you are in priority group promos, which I think honestly is probably a good reason to consider doing this one. Everything else is basically the same, except you get priority support. Book must meet acceptance criteria. And if you want additional pen names, so if you have more than the 2 pen names that are allowed, then you'll want to take a further look into that. So you guys can come over to here. Again, it's booksirens.com /pricing and take a look at all of these different things. I don't think that it's worth it to pay for either of these. And you can come down here and read through a lot of the kind of the facts that they have, how the author works. I'll focus on this one actually, just real quick. So it's an economical option for authors who publish often and want to use Book Sirens to promote their advanced reader copies long term. Again, this is primarily promoting advanced reader copies. If you're just looking for book reviews, I don't necessarily recommend this because it's a different setup. We'll promote each book for 3 months to our community of readers who are likely to read and review it. They are likely to read it and review it. You just may not like the reviews because, again, it's going out to a ton of people who may or may not read your genre, which is a problem. So now let's quickly go over to here. So this is kind of the reader's page, if you will. They don't see any of this. This is all just for me, okay? But this is with the book page. So you can see, and this is when I was paying. I had up to 734 impressions, 51 clicks to actually out of that to end up on the page, 8 readers, 6 reviews, and 1 did not finish. And again, this is likely because they did not read my genre. And this is what I got for paying for the promotion. That's the average rating across the 6 reviews. So you can see most people will actually leave more Goodreads reviews than they will Amazon or Bookbub, even if they say that they leave reviews on Amazon. Goodreads is just kind of where it's at, and honestly, Goodreads is slightly better because that's where book people are. So don't be sad if all you see is more Goodreads reviews. Down here, you can see who left a review, and again, some of these are people that I reached out to. Several of these, the one that did not finish, I hadn't reached out to her. There are several of these that I did not reach out to that ended up. This one I had not reached out to. That was part of the payment thing. So you have the blurb. You have a little bit about the author, who your publisher is, your author website, whether you want to join the mailing list, and then you can enter in all of your social information so people can also follow you. I don't believe I've had anyone sign up to the mailing list since doing that. And I have not done, again, admittedly, I have not done a ton of stuff on Book Sirens in the last year as I've been busy with other stuff. So when it boils down to it, is doing Book Sirens a good idea? Yes. Yes, it is. It is going to take some time. It is going to take a lot of work. It is going to take you, a couple of hours kind of sifting through, making sure that okay, this was last updated in last year. This one was updated last year. So they might be good fits for you, but if they're not posting anywhere, then it's kind of a no point. Doesn't matter if they have 10,000 followers or not. If they're not going to be updating or posting, not worth it. Again, check their socials, because while this is their blog, they may be more active on Facebook or Goodreads or Twitter. But you still want to look at the review policy. Contact usually will take you to their website as well. So that is what I recommend. I highly recommend using Book Sirens. Now let's go ahead and go over to Bookfunnels. We are on the Bookfunnels dashboard. So once you have an account, this is where you're going to land, and it's going to, say, your books haven't had any downloads this month, and, well, you probably haven't added any books to it yet. So this is going to be kind of the brief overview, and then we'll dive in more specifically to how to get the book reviews out of Bookfunnels. So first you have to have your book. So you can upload, and they have, let me just pause right here for just a second and mention that this is far more extensive than Book Sirens is. This is for somebody who is like really trying to be very targeted. They know who their audience is. They're ready to grow their mailing list. Like, this is where you're going to kind of step it up as an author. So just kind of be aware of that. I haven't even optimized everything on my book funnel yet, because there is so much for you to be able to do, which is good, but there is a learning curve. So just know that, and it is going to require a little bit more work than Book Sirens will, because you're just focusing directly on the people. This is, you're building a funnel, a sales funnel, in order to get those book reviews. Okay, so you add your book details, and once you've added that, it'll show up here. So you can see I have a couple of different ones. These are for the illustrated edition, and then the sampler is basically the first chapter, or maybe the first couple chapters. I forget which I ended up putting on here. But it is a sampler for my book for people to download and enjoy. Now, once you've done that, you can see over here that there's audiobooks and short audio. This is in beta as of right now, and it will be a separate additional add-on that you can pay for later, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. Landing pages, I'll show you what those look like here in a moment. But that's basically the sales page, or where you are going to be sending people to. Certified mail. This is where you're going to be doing the majority of getting your reviews. So again, click action to send advanced reader copies to your review team, and only your review team. Now, I do appreciate this because, people are worried about piracy and all that kind of stuff. The way that this is set up is you can set up a campaign. So you upload a mailing list, or you use the mailing list that you have in there. So people who have joined via group promos and author swaps and whatnot. And you can then send them an email, and allows you to send a private download link to up to 500 members of your advanced reader team at once. So if you have an advanced reader team, this is a huge tool to be able to use to really maximize that. Because what Bookfunnels will do is, once you set up a campaign, you can set a follow-up reminder email that Bookfunnel will automatically send to them whenever you are ready to send out or start getting those reviews. So if it's like, hey, my book launches in 4 weeks, here's the book. I am going to send a follow-up email in 4 weeks when the book goes live, and let you know when the book is ready to receive your reviews. And Bookfunnels will automatically do that, because you build in and you pre-write what that message will be. Okay, so that is huge. But you need to get people, in some cases, for smaller authors who don't have a reader team at all. You need to get some. So how do you do that? Well, there are group promos. So you can find like-minded authors and new readers with group promos. So the way that this works is there are a couple of types. There's Amazon sales pages. There is sales, where you're solely focusing on generating sales and pointing people to Amazon, or newsletter. So in this case, you can see clean epic fiction, and that takes place in starts in May. So starts May 22nd and will end June 19th. So you are setting yourself up to enter into this newsletter. So let's just go ahead and go into this, and I'll give you guys an idea. So this promotion is still accepting submissions. This gives you the idea. This promo is for building your newsletter and requires a free book giveaway to join. You need to have submit by May 21st. This gives you all of the promo requirements. So it requires a full book, no sample chapters or excerpts, no sexually suggestive book covers, and no erotica. And I mean that clean speculative fiction should give a pretty good good indicator there. So at Above the Sun, our mission is to create a strong, healthy, and again, I write Christian speculative fiction. So I have my settings set up for this. So I'm going to be getting these. So create a strong, healthy collective of Christian authors who support each other's journey and pull books of heaven down to earth. So sharing expectations. This is also very important. Multi-week newsletter. Please share multiple times. Okay, so if you have and usually, trying to see here, they actually, I'm quite surprised. They have quite a few rules here, which most do not. Let's see if I can find. Does not actually look like they have any sort of requirement for how big your newsletter is. Some of them do. Some of them require saying that you have to have. Oh, here we go. Also, if you are new or have a low reputation under 30, you must share within the first week. So that is something. So you have a reputation. So basically, that is the amount of clicks that you get when you send out a newsletter. So the more clicks you get, the higher your reputation goes. So they do have some of these. If you get booted or fail to share by the end of the promo, you will not be allowed to enter another promo in the future. So they do have some of those requirements there, just a little bit different. So that is basically the brief idea. Out of that newsletter promo, your goal is to get readers to not only download your book, read your book, but join you. And those people can be future book reviewers. In addition, if you get those people, they sign up through your page. And again, I'll go into the landing page and kind of how that works. You can require that they sign up for your newsletter in order to get the free book. And if they do, you're able to then send them a reminder, a couple of weeks out, be like, hey, thank you so much for signing up. I would really appreciate it if you enjoyed the book to go and leave a review. If you had any questions, feel free to message me. Always happy to talk with a fellow reader. So these are the types of things that you can do. So super awesome. And then there are author swaps. So you can find different authors specifically. And you can see you have poetry or science fiction authors. Well, I guess that's the name of their newsletter. So you can see how many times it is shared, whether it's a mention of like, hey, this person exists, or a feature like, hey, you guys need to check out this author. So you can run through this, reach out to people, and the idea is that you are swapping mentions in the newsletter. So one, you're wanting to find people who are like your book, who your people would be interested in, and then promoting them. So this is more of the long game for book reviews, because not only are you doing author swaps, but the group promos in particular are where you're going to get an influx of new readers, and you want new readers. Okay, because new readers allows you to potentially get more book reviews from readers, not just book reviewers, but from the actual readers. You have to spend some time, again, researching, looking into things, seeing what the requirements are. Don't get discouraged. It's a long game for the book reviews, okay? I have been discouraged. I understand. I totally get it. But try not to get stuck in that place because it is the long game. Now, let me come over here, excuse me, to our landing pages. Now, the landing pages, you can see once they are set up, one is a sales page. This is the sampler, and these were for giveaway winners of a giveaway that I was doing back in December. So you can see that if someone wants the sampler, they have to opt in. So if we go and we take a look at it here, get your free sample of the City of Snow and Stars. You can grab your sample, and then you're required to put in your first name, your email address, and then they have to check mark the box. I understand that I am signing up for SD Howard's email newsletter, and I'm free to unsubscribe at any time. And I've gotten a few subscribers from here. Again, I haven't done a ton with Bookfunnels at the moment, primarily because I've been making the YouTube videos and helping coming up with other content and doing author coaching. So I haven't done a ton, but I have gotten subscribers, and they've actually been fantastic. I've actually gotten some interaction from them just replying to my newsletter emails when I've asked questions. So it's been really cool. I let everybody know, like, hey, because this is all customizable. Whoever joins gains access to the library secret area of my website. I have not followed up on the flash fiction stories, sadly. But you can get deleted scenes, opportunity to join my review beta / promotion teams, and more. And you receive a sample of the City of Snow and Stars as a welcome gift, right? And then you can unsubscribe at any time. So they fill that in. It tells them about the book. So this is what the landing page can potentially look like for a newsletter sign up. Now, if you're saying like, hey, I want to sell my book and get people to buy, and this is required if you're going to join any of the other sales promos, this is kind of what you can set it up to look like. Now, this is the illustrated edition of my book. It has 10 illustrations in it, which is why the cover is different. I let people know that it's available on Kindle Unlimited. They can still buy it, but it is on Kindle Unlimited. All the same information. The difference is that if you click this, it's going to go straight to Amazon. So if you are doing a promo and it ends up on a sales promo page, someone clicks on your book and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, I want to buy the book. Boom, they go to Amazon, which is fantastic because if they do and they get it via Kindle Unlimited or they buy it, it is a verified purchase. So if they go and leave a review, it will show up as a verified purchase. So if you are, again, being very purposeful and intentional on how you are building all of that stuff, that is going to work in your favor immensely. So highly, highly, highly recommend that you sign up for Bookfunnels. And I have no affiliation with them. I really, really like them just from the little bit that I have been able to use. In particular with this in particular is the one that I want to use more. And I have not had the opportunity to because my book was already out. But I am definitely going to be using the certified mail one even more so with book 2. So those are some of the ways that you can find more book reviewers. Now let's head over to the pricing to kind of talk through what that looks like. So the right plan for you. So you give us a try risk-free. If there aren't the service, let us know within 30 days and we'll refund your payment in full. All right. So There is annual pricing, and then there is monthly pricing. We're going to look at the annual pricing first, because the annual pricing is the only way that you can get the first-time author option. Otherwise, there is no monthly payment option for that. And again, anytime you see this, it's because it's breaking down that $20. You're only paying, $1.67 a month when you pay annually. So it's the perfect plan for beginners. Whoops. You get one pen name, 500 downloads of your book per month. And again, if you're an indie author and you own the rights, the distribution rights to your book, it's not on Kindle Unlimited. So you know how I had the sales page that said Kindle Unlimited. You're not getting the book from Bookfunnels. It's going from Bookfunnels to Amazon. The sampler that I provide for people, that is within the requirements of Kindle Unlimited. You can't share more than 10% of the book. Now, technically speaking, you can give away your book for free outside of Amazon, even if you are on Kindle Select. But you have to be very careful about doing that, because if they find out you're doing that, you could be kicked off of Kindle Select. Maybe given a warning, maybe permanently. So just be aware of that. But if you are not on Kindle Unlimited, then you can have digital downloads of your book via here, no problem. You can have an unlimited amount of books stored. You can create custom landing pages like the ones that I showed you. You do have direct sales delivery, so there is a way to do sales. I have not done that. I have not tried it yet. And then you can do the group promos, which is what I showed you earlier. Now, you cannot collect reader email addresses or have any short MP3 delivery. The files are not watermarked. There's no direct integration, no secure ARC delivery, no book gifting, no printable download codes, no priority support. This is just your basic plan. And for the vast majority of people, I would say that is going to do you. That is going to be more than you need to be able to start finding and getting more book reviews. Now, if you want to take it up a notch and be like, hey, I already kind of have a mailing list going. I'd like to kind of continue growing that, get more readers and trying to get them invested. Then you're probably going to want to look at the mid-list author. This is the one that I purchased when I started. You get 2 pen names, 5,000 downloads a month. Again, unlimited books, custom landing pages, direct sales, group promos. But this allows you to collect reader addresses, email addresses specifically. And then you can export those as a CSV file and upload them to your MailChimp, MailerLite, Flowdesk, SendBlue, whatever. Short audio MP3 delivery. Again, I think this is currently just in beta, so it will cost at some point, very similar to direct integration. So you have watermarked files. Now, the direct integration is, let's say you have MailChimp and you're like, I do not want to mess around with a CSV file, download it from Bookfunnels, upload it there. That's a waste of my time. For an extra $50 a year, you can directly integrate it. So whenever someone signs up, they automatically get added to your mailing list. You can totally do that. I did not have an extra $50 to spend, so I didn't do it. I'm just uploading. Secure ARC delivery, book gifting, and printable download codes. I'm not going to go into a ton of those because I haven't done a lot of research on that. And then, for the bestseller, $250 paid annually, 3 pen names, unlimited downloads, unlimited book storage, and basically everything else. In this one, you can integrate with 3 mailing lists. So that integration, direct integration, looks like it's included in that pricing. Then you get priority support, however that ends up looking. So now if we're going to just the monthly payments and you're like, yeah, I don't have $100, then you can pay $10 a month. Just pay $10 and boom, you're doing that. So obviously you're paying $120 over the course of the year. You're saving 20 if you pay for the full one, but if you don't have 100 and you have 10, perfect. First time author, you can see, is not available. And then the bestseller, you're paying $25 a month for all of that amazingness over here. Again, the vast majority of what you are going to need is right here. And I would say even more so, you probably just need this one. If you are trying to deliver ebook files, here's the thing that I actually forgot to mention. When you upload the EPUB version of your book into Bookfunnels, it will automatically create a Mobi file. It will automatically create a copy of it and convert it into a Mobi, which is amazing. Because I know some people use the Calibre program. I don't know how to use it, so I was so excited when this did it for me. And the other reason I recommend Bookfunnels, and I've actually gotten good feedback from the book reviewers on Book Sirens, who I did this with, when I let people know, like, hey, I have all of the download information on Bookfunnels, so you can set up a custom page for book reviewers specifically, and you just send them the Bookfunnel link. So that Bookfunnels takes care of sending the files. They're not watermarked. So if you're worried about privacy, you might want to look at the mid-list one because it is watermarked. But you can just have them send the files. And then if something gets boogered up, Bookfunnel take care of it. That's awesome. Makes your life so much simpler. So just kind of keep that in mind. And it does add a sense of legitimacy. I can't say that it adds a ton, but I do believe that it adds just a little bit of credibility to say, like, hey, I'm paying, again, even if it's the $20 a year, I'm paying for this to be able to host these files, so that way I can make it the best experience for you possible when downloading the digital copy of my book. All right, guys. So what did you think? Did you like Book Sirens? Did you like Bookfunnels? Well, let's kind of touch on here real quick the takeaways that I hope you guys get from this video. One, getting more book reviews can be difficult. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take intentionality. Because no matter what you do, unless you just straight up start paying for forged book reviews, it's a long game. Very, very few people actually will take the time to go and leave a book review, which is honestly quite frustrating, but it is what it is. So the takeaways for Book Sirens: you have a vast menagerie of people who review books for fun. A lot of people. And you can look in different genres. You know, I showed you guys fantasy. I could also switch over to Christian fiction, again, speaking in my case, or YA. And while there is some crossover between those, there are going to be different reviewers. And so you can go and search through one whole genre, and then go through another genre, and then through another genre. There are so many people that you can reach out to. And having got, I think it was, 8 out of 10 of the people that I had reached out to, some of those were my best reviews. Some of them were 4-star reviews, which is totally fine. It adds, honestly, 3 to 5 stars adds legitimacy. 2-star is usually, from what I've seen, someone who was just like, yeah, this is outside of what I normally read and I didn't like it. 1-stars are usually crackpots who don't know what they're reading anyway, and they just like to leave hate. There are just some people, as Alfred would say, they want to watch the world burn, Mr. Bruce. So expect that. even for the people that you reach out to, you can increase your likelihood of not getting those if you take the time and search through Book Sirens to find the people that are going to be the best possible fit for your book. Treat them with respect. Do not pressure them to get to your book right away. If someone says like, yep, probably going to be 6 months before I do it, be like, great, totally fine. Just if you can, remember to tag me, because I would love to share your blog with my readers, with my social media network. Again, you want to help them too. Like, they're doing this for fun. They owe you nothing, particularly the book reviewers. The readers, you owe them something. But the book reviewers, they owe you nothing. So try to make it as much of a win-win, a genuine win-win as possible. Be like, hey, just hit me up when you leave the review. That way I can let people know, like, hey, go check out this person's blog. I did that with several of them, and they were very, very appreciative, because it's hard enough when they're trying to get their stuff out there, just like you're trying to get your stuff out there. Aim for people who are looking to leave reviews on Amazon, Goodreads, and Bookbub. And I did promise you we would go over Bookbub, and I am still going to do that. But I want to do the takeaways for these two specifics first. Those three are probably the best ones that you can possibly do. Amazon and Goodreads being the primaries. Now, there are going to be some people who will only leave it on their blog. They will only do it on Instagram, or they are only going to do it on their social media in general. And it will not end up on Goodreads, and it will not end up on Amazon. That's okay. What you are trying to do is you're trying to get more out there, because those you can copy and paste, and you can use them as an editorial review on your Amazon sales page. I've done that with several of them. You can put them into marketing bites that you can take out a snippet of and post with a beautiful picture. So there are other ways. Don't think of it just strictly for Amazon, Goodreads, and Bookbub. Also think about how you can use those in other ways, repurpose them. You can even add them onto the back of your book cover if you wanted to, or on the front of your book cover. There's lots of different options for those. So keep that in mind. Don't pay for it. Don't pay for Book Sirens. If I ever get around to the actually paying for the author one, and the premium group promos, I'll let you guys know what I ended up finding and whether it was worth it. I paid for the other one, not worth it. Ended up hurting in some cases. Didn't get a lot of traction with it. So, unless you're super confident that you've got the tropes, you've got the story, you've got the blurb, and you've got the cover, I don't recommend paying for it when you can do the vast majority of everything that they're doing better for free. So that's my my hot take on Book Sirens. Bookfunnel, I do recommend. Obviously, you have to pay for it. Can't really get around that. The vast majority of people, they're going to get away with the first-time author thing for $20 a year. And honestly, starting out, that's a great place to go. Is $20. It's easy. You forget about it for a year. Forget paying about it for a year. Please actually use it during that time. And start building up your reader list. So, you need readers, right? So get into those group swaps that are promoting the books to fellow readers who like your stuff, who like that genre. Because if you can do that, then you can start getting readers leaving reviews organically. That is the ideal. That's what we all dream of. That's what every author dreams of, is organic reviews. So keep that in mind. Bookfunnels is a great way to do that. If you're like, not only do I want to do group swaps, but I also want to increase my own newsletter, and because newsletters aren't dead, they're just usually not done well. And I do plan on addressing this in a video in the future. you want to start growing your mailing list of people who are excited about what you write. Bookfunnels is a great way to do that because it's like-minded people sharing. It does take time to build up a reputation. You have to have a reader audience who's willing and interested in what it is that you're posting and sharing for the promotions. So keep that in mind, but you can also share it on social media. You can share wherever. I could share it on the YouTube channel if I wanted to. So keep that in mind. And if you're wanting direct integration, you'd have to pay for an extra $50, so that way you're not having to download and upload and all that fun stuff. But honestly, it's worth it. It really is worth it, because if you can get people excited about your book and they're investing in you as an author, you are going to see more long-term organic reviews, especially if you can take those people from Bookfunnels, get them onto your newsletter, from your newsletter into a secret area, something that is a special area. For me, it's usually my Discord. If I can get people onto my Discord, they have the option, or to the library, the secret space on my website, then they have the option to become part of my review team, or my beta reader team, or my promotions team. You can do the same type of thing, and you can build an organic team from Bookfunnels because they are readers just like yourself. So hopefully you're reading. You're reading, and hopefully you're leaving book reviews too. I know it's hard, I know it takes time, but I do recommend it. If you want more book reviews, you should be leaving book reviews. Set the example. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to give you a brief overview. Very, very brief overview, and I will probably do a more in-depth, again, video in the future on Bookbub and why it's important to use that. But I'm going to show you very quickly some of the benefits of having book reviews on Bookbub and why it's important to have those reviews. Okay, so there are two main things that you'll want to do on Bookbub. First and foremost, you're going to want to get a reader profile set up on there. And that part's super easy to get. You basically go to bookbub.com and you sign up. Now, once you have gotten signed up, you can sign up as a Bookbub partner and be able to run ads and advertise your book and do all sorts of other stuff. But first, what you do is you get set up, and tell a little bit about the author, what you do, all that. Then you add your books. So you can see I have the standard edition of my book, and then I have the illustrated edition of my book. And then as a reader, you can make a post and you can recommend one of your favorite books. So right now I just have one, just one favorite book. I could probably go to Goodreads and then find a whole bunch of books to add, and then I can add a recommendation for the book, and that is essentially a book review. I've had one of those on the standard edition of my book, because if we go here, you can see that I have a 4-star rating. And if I come down here, then you can see that Aaron, who was one of the people from Book Sirens that I found, was one of the people who left a Bookbub review. And you can see that Laura Francis also recommended and rated this book. And they had some tags. Then I also had Ashley Ray recommend and rate this book. So you can see that I have 3 ratings on there. 3 community reviews, essentially. And 2 did a full review. 1 just kind of put in some tags, essentially. We'll go ahead and give that a like. And that's essentially what you want to have, right? Because reviewers have said this book is a page turner, action-packed, wonderful characters, inspirational, and great world building. So those help tell people. Now you can see this little thing over here. This is a Bookbub ad. So you'd be able to start doing more ads if you sign up for the partners, and it could potentially end up on this type of page. And I'll kind of get into that. So you could save as a wish list, you can buy from Amazon, you can share it with your network, all that kind of stuff, which is why you want it on here. There's like some 10 million people on Bookbub. So definitely want to get your book in here and start leaving recommendations for other books. So especially if you've done reviews on Goodreads for your friends or whatever, you can take some of those and put them over here on Bookbub. Now, to kind of give you an example of what that looks like for someone who does it a lot, Beauty in the Binding has done over 200 reviews following 337 people, and there are 118 people following her. All right, so let's say we wanted to target Anne McCaffrey, right? So we'll go to her profile. And this kind of gets into the ads, which we're not going to dive into a ton, but just to kind of give you an idea. So Anne has 47,503 people that she follows. So if you were running ads and you were targeting Anne McCaffrey, these are the people that are going to see it. And it is books like hers is essentially what you are targeting. You can see that, as featured in, got a lot of different articles and stuff written about her. And you can see another Bookbub ad right there. Now, the partner aspect of Bookbub is where you can do Bookbub ads. You can see that I've run some. I have 8 whole followers following me as an author. And if we scroll down, feature deals. So feature deals are extremely expensive. So unless you have, $1,000 to $1,300 just laying around, I don't recommend trying to go for that. Bookbub ads is probably going to be far cheaper in the long run, and you could potentially get more sales off of those. And then when you work your way up, then you can definitely do that. So, you have to, once you've signed in as a Bookbub partner, you need your author profile, which I showed you. You add your books, and then you can go and you can start running Bookbub ads. You can submit for feature deals or new releases for less. Basically, the people who have signed up for Bookbub are people who are looking for cheap books. Books on Kindle Unlimited, books that are, 99 cents. That is the price point that these people are looking for. So if you're looking to try and get some additional reviews and you need to get your book out there to more people, Bookbub ads is a way to get impressions, to get clicks. You can get sales. Don't expect a return right away on those, if at all. But that is something that is available to you. So just kind of keep that in mind. The primary thing is if your book is available for people to leave a review or recommendation on Bookbub, that's the primary. You want that as an option because people who are looking on Bookbub for book recommendations can find your book there. You want people to be able to easily find your book when possible. So I highly recommend having Bookbub, a Bookbub account, not only just as a reader/author, but also as the Bookbub partner, so you can run Bookbub ads. And I can do a separate video in the future on kind of how to set up a Bookbub ad and kind of what goes into that, what you need to take into consideration. That's it for today. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any additional questions about Book Sirens, Bookfunnels, or Bookbub, it's a lot of books. I'm always happy to interact with you guys and answer questions because I know that there's a lot that we went over today. And I tried to do as much. This video would seriously be like 2 hours long if I went through like every little detail and step-by-step walkthrough. So I hope you guys found it helpful in getting more book reviews. Also, drop comments down below and let us know what you have used to get book reviews. I'm super interested in learning what else is out there, because while I've used these tools and have had some success with them, I'd love to know what other people have done. So definitely drop your comments down below. We want to hear from you. Until next time, SD out.